criticized my body right after childbirth. I never thought a few words could erase years of love, but the night my husband criticized my body right after childbirth, something in me shut down and nothing was ever the same again. I remember the moment so clearly. It still feels like it's happening in real time. I had been in labor for nearly 28 hours. When our daughter finally arrived, the nurses joked that she was stubborn like her mom. I laughed through the pain, clutching my husband's hand until it went numb. When she came out crying perfect and tiny, he was the first to hold her. He whispered how beautiful she was, how proud he was of both of us, but that was before the words. I didn't even want to look at myself the first night, swollen, bandaged. Exhausted beyond belief, all I could see was pain. All I could feel was relief that it was over. He brought our daughter to me, placed her on my chest, and I felt something warm and tender bloom in my heart. A love so deep it took my breath away. And then he said without thinking, without softness, "Wow, your stomach is really jiggly. I didn't realize how much weight you gained." At first I thought I misheard him. I blinked at him stunned. He didn't even look guilty. He just stood there holding our daughter, like he had just delivered a casual observation, like he was commenting on the weather. I remember exactly what I felt. A sharp coldness that sliced through my chest, not anger at first, just disbelief. Like someone had reached into my body and rearranged my bones. Without permission, babe, I barely even see it. He tried to backtrack, his voice awkward and nervous, like he knew he'd crossed a line, but didn't know how to get back over it. But it hit me like a brick. I had just pushed a human being out of my body. My body that had carried her for 9 months. My body that had bent itself into a stranger I barely recognized. My body that was supposed to be loved, comforted, not commented on, like it was a sweater I could try on later. I didn't cry, not at that moment. I just looked at him and something in me shut down. The next few days were a blur of visitors' photos, advice about breastfeeding, and endless pictures of newborn feet and tiny noses. People said things like, "You did great. She's beautiful. You look radiant." I smiled at them all, everyone except him. He avoided my eyes, I could feel it. The thing between us, something unspoken but heavy. I tried to talk to him on day 3. "Did what you said bother you?" I asked, gently in bed, our daughter asleep between us. He blinked like he didn't remember saying it at all. I was just honest. He said, "I mean, you did gain weight. It's normal, I thought. You appreciate honesty." I stared at him, really looked at him for the first time in months. It wasn't malice, it wasn't necessarily cruelty, it was thoughtlessness, and after that moment, I realized something. Honesty without empathy isn't kindness. It's just bluntness with consequences. For the next few weeks, I found myself shrinking in ways I didn't expect. I stopped looking at mirrors. I didn't want to wear clothes that showed my body. I started freezing every time he came near me. I didn't want to talk about how I felt because every time I tried, his defenses would go up. It was just one comment. "You're overthinking. You're beautiful to me," but he never said, "I'm sorry for hurting you." And that was the part that stung the worst. One night, 2 weeks after I gave birth, I was feeding our daughter in the dim nursery light. When he walked in, he stopped at the doorway and just watched us. I didn't say anything. After a moment, he whispered, "I've been thinking about what I said, and I didn't realize how much I hurt you. I'm sorry." Not dismissive, not defensive, just real. My heart, the part that had been numb, cracked a little, but even then, what followed wasn't instant forgiveness. What followed was a conversation, the kind that's hard, messy, and honest. I told him how those words made me feel, like I wasn't enough, like my body was a problem to fix, not a miracle to celebrate, like he saw my flaws before he saw my strength. He listened, really listened, no interruptions, no excuses, just listening. And that's when things started to change. I'm not going to sit here and pretend everything is perfect now. Some days I still catch myself tensing up when he walks into the room. Some days I look at photos and squint thinking, did I really look like that? But what's different now is this. My body is no longer a battleground. It's a home, a place where laughter and late feeds live, a place where strength and vulnerability coexist, a place that grew our daughter. And when I look in the mirror now, I don't see flaws. I see love unfiltered and unedited. Maybe that's the hardest part of moments like this. You don't just lose the comfort you had. You lose the version of yourself that believed love was always gentle. You grieve. The version of your relationship that you thought was unbreakable. You mourn the idea that someone who loves you perfectly would always protect your heart. But healing doesn't come from forgetting. It comes from learning that real love isn't just honesty. It's honesty with tenderness. It's seeing someone fully with their strength and their scars, and still choosing them even on the hard days, even when the mirror still confuses you, even when the world forgets your struggle. Especially then, because in that choice, in that quiet acceptance of yourself and each other, you build something stronger than perfection. You build connection. And that's what really lasts.